There is a lot in the 165-page brief from Jack Smith's team, but perhaps no portion more relevant to this next 33 days than a conversation a White House aide told investigators he overheard between Donald Trump and his family members, where the former president said the election doesn't matter, the votes don't matter. Quote, "It doesn't matter if you win or lost the election. You have to fight like hell." Joining us now, former RNC chairman and MSNBC political analyst Michael Steele. He is also co-host of MSNBC's The Weekend. Also with us, former campaign manager for Hillary Clinton, Robbie Mook. All right, so Michael, when he says it doesn't matter, you got to fight like hell, what does that mean for 33 days from now, for the next election?
It means buckle up, because you're going to get a reprise of what we saw after the election in 2020. But they're going to be better prepared for it. They have more people in place than they did then. They know where the hot buttons are. They know where to step and where not to step. They've got a legal team that's spread out across the country, including the battleground states. So, everyone has kind of, been sleepwalking since that time, thinking, well, it won't happen. He was not serious. No, Donald Trump wants the presidency. He wants the presidency for power because he wants to be a dictator. He told us that. And he wants the presidency to protect him because of all the things you were talking about before coming into the segment. So unless people really understand that and appreciate what it means to elect him again in November, yeah, he's prepared to throw down and throw down hard. He wants it back, and he wants it back for a reason. It has nothing to do with his followers. He's already told them, I don't need you to vote for me. Don't worry about voting for me, because he knows he's fixing the system. He knows he's putting in place what he needs to disrupt the process and to create enough tension and confusion that you'll have people on the streets protecting and defending him and coming to his aid, while the lawyers and folks like us on TV be sitting here going, what happened?
There are those out there who are Republicans and Donald Trump allies mostly, who are likening this to what James Comey did to the Hillary Clinton campaign in the lead up to the election. Do you see it as the same, Robbie?
Well, first and foremost, on the Clinton campaign, Comey was making an announcement that he was closing an investigation and was choosing not to press charges. In this situation, we have a prosecutor who has pressed charges, was sent back by the judge to re-examine those charges based on Donald Trump's Supreme Court ruling in his favor. And now he's come back with even more information. So the two aren't really alike. And I would say if Trump's team had wanted to hurry up and get this over with before the election, I'm not a lawyer, but they certainly at no juncture have ever taken steps to speed any of this up. I think he likes this. I think he wants this to keep going. He wants to keep this fight alive. And I think Chairman Steele is absolutely right that this is just, not that we needed more evidence, but this is definitely more evidence that this is all about him. This is not about our democracy. This is not about the voters. This is not about the people. This is about him winning an election and taking power.
Let me put up some polling, NBC News polling, on what the most important issues are to voters. And you'll see inflation, the cost of living tops everything. But 19% of voters say threats to democracy matter. I wonder, Robbie, do you see this filing as convincing anybody that they should not vote for Donald Trump? Or the people who are saying that threats to democracy matter, are they already baked in as voters for Kamala Harris?
Yeah, I think they probably, the people who do care most about this probably have made up their mind. I mean, this is year 8 of us hearing about him undermining our democracy. So I don't think there's anything new here. I do think this is a helpful reminder to anybody who might think that, well, Harris is doing fine, maybe I won't vote, or how important really is this election? This is a great reminder that it is incredibly important. But I do think ultimately Harris's path to victory runs through what she can do to improve people's economic situations, to lower the cost of living. And I think that's why you've seen the campaign really lean into that side of the argument rather than litigate what happened on January 6th.
I think one of the most surprising things about this election, perhaps telling, is the absence of Mike Pence. You know, he's not Donald Trump's running mate again. Mike Pence has not come out and said you should vote for Donald Trump. In fact, the opposite. Mike Pence's life was in danger on January 6, 2021. Donald Trump, we have in this filing, didn't really care about that, according to prosecutors. I wonder, Michael, why that hasn't been a singular issue in this campaign, why that hasn't been a bigger issue for voters who are deciding between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris.
Because I think in large measure, you have minds that go, well, Donald Trump wanted to see him hang, so he is of no relevance in that regard. And then you have those, who are saying, and probably advising him in some way to position himself for 2028, because I don't know why everyone seems to think that 2028 is going to be a brand new landscape for the Republican Party if Donald Trump is not in the White House. I hate to disabuse you of that notion, baby, but that's not how that's going to play out. So, yeah, I mean, you would think that Pence, given all that he's been involved in with Donald Trump and all that's happened to him, would be more vocal, would be more out there in the public, would be standing with a Liz Cheney, metaphorically speaking, if not actually. But he hasn't. And that's because there are other political calculations that are being made by him and others about what the next 4 years will look like and what the fifth year of the next 4 years will look like for them potentially being a nominee of the Republican Party. They still want to be that standard bearer for a party that no longer exists. And that's going to be the rude awakening for a lot of these folks, whether Donald Trump wins or loses. MAGA now runs this thing. So the battle begins inside the party for what that looks like going forward. And guys like Pence, they don't want to get their hands dirty.
It also makes
it
makes you wonder what J.D. Vance might be willing to do if put in the same position. J.D. Vance, who on the debate stage just a couple nights ago.
Anything and everything. He's willing to do anything and everything if it gets him closer to the power he wants.
Listen, he wouldn't even say that Donald Trump lost the election. Wouldn't even say that definitively, even though that's what happened. Robbie Mook.
Exactly.
Michael Steele, gentlemen, thank you very much.